హాయ్ వెల్కమ్ టు ఏబీపీ దేశం. సినిమా మనందరి జీవితంలో అంతర్భాగం. సినిమా నుంచి చాలా నేర్చుకుంటాం. సినిమాల్లో మనల్ని మనం చూసుకుంటాం. అంతటి ప్రాధాన్యత మన జీవితాలతో ముడిపడిపోయిన సినిమాను మన నుంచి వేరుగా చూడలేం. ప్రత్యేకించి ఇండియన్ సినిమాలకు చాలా ఘనతలు ఉన్నాయి. ప్రపంచంలో హాలీవుడ్ తర్వాత ఆ స్థాయిలో సినిమాలు ఇండియా నుంచే వస్తున్నాయి. మళ్ళీ అందులో అంతర్భాగమైన తెలుగు సినిమాలు ఇప్పుడు ప్రపంచవ్యాప్తంగా గుర్తింపు తెచ్చుకుంటున్నాయి. చాలా తెలుగు సినిమాలు ఇండస్ట్రీ హిట్గా నిలవడమే కాదు, గర్వంగా ఇది మన సినిమా అని చెప్పుకునే స్థాయి గౌరవాన్ని సంపాదించాయి. సో అలాంటి తెలుగు సినిమాలపై విశ్లేషణ అందించాలని ఏబీపీ దేశం ప్లాన్ చేసింది. దీంతో పాటు మీకు ఓ సర్ప్రైజ్ కూడా ఉంది. తెలుగు వాళ్ళు తెలుగు సినిమాను రివ్యూ చేస్తే ఏముంటుంది, అందుకే ఇండియన్ సినిమాలంటే ప్రాణం పెట్టి ప్రత్యేకించి తెలుగు సినిమాలను అమితంగా ఇష్టపడే ఓ ఫారినర్ మనకు తెలుగు క్లాసిక్ సినిమాలపై తన విశ్లేషణను అందించనుంది. సో మన సినిమాల గురించి ఆవిడ ఏమనుకుంటుంది, పర్టికులర్గా రివ్యూ చేస్తున్న సినిమాలపై ఆమె అభిప్రాయం, విశ్లేషణ ఆమె మాటల్లోనే తెలుసుకుందాం. హాయ్, మెలనీ గ్రీన్బర్గ్.
Hello! Delighted to be with you, Harsha, and talking about this wonderful classic Telugu film, Mayabazar.
సో ఈరోజు మెలనీ నేను డిస్కస్ చేసిన ఫస్ట్ సినిమా మాయాబజార్. మెలనీ, హౌ వాజ్ ద మూవీ మాయాబజార్?
I watched it for the second time this week for this. The first time that I watched the film was in preparation for Mahanati, where Kirti Suresh was playing Savitri. And I asked my viewers, what is the number one film of Savitri's that I should see so that I can judge if Kirti is doing a good job? And everyone said, you have to see Mayabazar. The second time I enjoyed it even more. It is such a big cast film that it was a little overwhelming, I think, the first time to see the film and understand all of the characters and the relationships. But it's an amazing film, 1957, and it still stands up today. It was so enjoyable watching it again. There's so many scenes that are just so delightful, and the acting in it is so wonderful. Number one, Savitri has more talent and personality in her little finger than most other actresses. She is so amazing. And especially the scene where her body is, SVR is supposed to be pretending to be, Sashi. And so she does the song and she's acting in a very masculine way. It's hilarious.
Can you remember the song?
I can't sing the song, but oh my gosh, she just, from the first moment that you see her, she just has such personality, so much spark to her. Amazing actress. And but she's not the only one in the film that's so great. This is a film this is one of the original multi-stars, with all of these big names. You have NTR as Krishna, you have A&R, you have S.V. Rangarao, as we just talked about. So I just appreciate it even more. I haven't seen a lot of the, older classic films. I realized the one actor of those three that I have seen in a more modern film is A&R and of course Manam. And so it's like, wow, amazing to see him as this handsome young man, Abhimanyu, so as this amazing young hero. Anyway, so I appreciate all of the actors, but I think S.V. Rangarao may be my favorite because he's just so, I don't know, he's just so comedic, but just so powerful. I don't know, like I can't even describe how delightful it is to see him on screen. There's so many great scenes that he has in this film, and I just found myself delighted watching each and every one.
That is the first movie NTR, A&R, SVR, Savitri, all our legends work together.
I can't even imagine what audiences in 1957 must have felt like being able to go to the theater and to see all of these big actors on the screen at the same time. I could understand people wanting to see it over and over and over again. I mean, also the songs are so great. I don't think, I think the colorized version that was re-released is the one that I was able to see. And I think the original black and white version from 1957, I think had a couple of more songs that were cut. I think maybe they didn't have the budget to colorize, everything in the film. So I didn't hear all of the songs. I think there originally were 12, but all the songs that remain in the colorized version are all amazing. And I'm sure they're all classics that have been heard over and over and over again.
Well, we will talk about Savitri. What do you most like in her?
She just has so much personality and sparkle to her. Like, you can't keep your eyes off her when she is on screen. And like I said, to me, my favorite scene is when she is imitating SVR. She's supposed to be, him impersonating her to spoil the wedding. And all the maids are like, why are you acting in this strange way? But she has such range in this film. What I learned from Mahanati is that she could just, one director asked her, to cry, and she's like, how many tears do you want? Like she could control.
That is Savitri. That is Savitri.
She just, she has quite a range in this film, from her anguish at being separated from Abhimanyu and her mother cruelly wanting her to marry this other guy. And so but she also just has, just this sparkle about her. There's something special about her on screen.
1957లో వచ్చింది మాయాబజార్, అంటే 64 సంవత్సరాలు. కానీ ఈ రోజుకి తెలుగు సినిమా అంటే టక్కున గుర్తొచ్చే సినిమా మాయాబజారే. అంటే టెక్నాలజీ కూడా ఆ స్థాయిలో అసలు అందుబాటులో లేని కాలంలో కేవీ రెడ్డి, మార్కస్ బాట్లీ లాంటి టెక్నీషియన్స్ చేసిన మ్యాజిక్ ఇవన్నీ ఈ స్థాయిలో వర్కౌట్ అయ్యాయి. కాబట్టి ఈ రోజుకి మాయాబజార్ గురించి మనం మాట్లాడుకుంటున్నాం. ఫారినర్స్ చూసినా అర్థమై వాళ్ళ ప్రశంసలు పొందుతుంది మన మాయాబజార్ సినిమా. సో వాట్ యూ లైక్ ఇన్ ఎస్వీఆర్, ఎన్టీఆర్, ఏఎన్ఆర్ క్యారెక్టర్స్?
I mean, I absolutely love the battle sequence with Abhimanyu. That's just one example of, it's simple effects, but it's his personality and acting it, it just kind of carries the whole scene. It still makes it so delightful even today. And I loved how he was just kind of devilish and, he just had kind of a glint in his eye of, I'm going to ruin this wedding. And he just goes about doing it in all different ways, which was just so funny, because then Savitri is kind of taking his mannerisms in her performance in all the scenes where he's impersonating her, spoiling the wedding. Like, and I love, just simple special effects of her face turns into a tiger or whatever. It's still funny today, even if it's just simple effects. It's still funny. I just really enjoyed his performance very much, and I would like to see more movies of his. When we were discussing what movie to talk about, one of the challenges is some of the older classic Telugu films are difficult to find with English subtitles. So I'm so delighted that I can enjoy this older film that was, because it was colorized and re-released, they released it with subtitles. And so I'm able to enjoy the legends of Telugu cinema in one of the most classic films. This film by K.V. Reddy, which he wrote and directed, but the cinematographer was Margus Bartley, who did so many of these camera tricks that were really innovative for the time. And I was thinking about, in Hollywood, the year before, in 1956, was when The 10 Commandments, a big blockbuster film, which had a special effects scene of the parting of the Red Sea. It's still a film that's shown every year on holidays or on the Easter holiday in America on TV. And so this reminds me of that, where you just have a huge cast, you have all of these extras. And to me, it's amazing that the director literally sat there with a stopwatch, because it wasn't digital. He had, he's doing film to time how much time each scene and each song was taking to judge how he was going to put this film together. And then some of these special effects scenes, I think, still hold up today. You can see the practical effects of the stop motion of the wedding scene where SVR is eating all the ladus and everything are going.
Can you remember the song?
I can't sing this.
We'll do one thing. I'll sing one line. I'll just sing one line. You just repeat it.
Okay.
Vivaha Bhojanambu. Vivaha Bhojanambu.
Vivaha Bhojanambu.
Viyala Vari Bindu.
Viara. It's amazing. It's such a fun song. It's such a fun song, and it's so fun. All of the stop motion effects, which I guess took 4 days for them to film just that one scene. But even a small scene, the transition from when Sashireka is a small child and she's fallen in love with her cousin Abhimanyu, and she's looking into a pond, and then the ripples of the pond, and then there's no obvious cut, and all of a sudden when the water clears, we see Savitri as, you know, a grown-up young woman. Just amazing, thinking of the technology of the time. They didn't have CGI, they didn't have digital cameras, they didn't have all that we have today, and yet some of these special effects still hold up so well and tell such a fun story. I mean, it never gets old watching some of the villains get hit on the head with carpets and, and bedposts and everything. It's still funny.
In 1957, they created illusions without support of any computer graphics.
Right. They came, it's just a wonderful film. I love it so much, and I was really glad that we could have this discussion about it. I will tell you, it's a little hard. These are stories that probably you grew up with, and it was easier for me, like I said, to watch it the second time because I kind of knew who everyone was and what their role is. Like I don't know all about the Mahabharata. I'm learning it slowly. You know, it would be like if I showed you a movie about Joseph and his multicolored coat from the Bible. Like I know kind of all of the players and the characters in that story, but that's a little bit of a barrier for someone from the outside to watch it. But I think you can still enjoy it because there's so much comedy and it's just an effective adventure story.
I think you know everything from the movie.
You learn a lot. You learn a lot from the movie. That's true. So I just so it's not. I don't immediately, when you see someone looking like Krishna, I don't know. I don't know exactly what all that means when I see him NTR playing that in the way that he's playing it, you know what I mean? But I come to know, and I learned from it from watching the film. And then reading about it afterwards, I learned that was the first time, he became iconic playing Krishna in many other films because this was so popular, his performance in Mayabazar.
Movie Mayabazar based on Hindu mythological book Mahabharata, and it's part Sesreka Parinayam. That means Sesreka marriage. Yeah, Krishna is a god who is one of 10 incarnations of Lord Vishnu. NTR played Krishna role. Now we will discuss about technological innovations.
Yes, Lahiri. Yeah, it's just I evidently it was one of the first times that they kind of tried to simulate moonlight on a set. So they did some filming in the daylight on an actual river or a lake or something. And then recreated in the moonlight in a studio setting for most of the song. And I kind of wonder if watching it colorized, I should look for it on YouTube, black and white, because I kind of wonder if some of the magic was lost of them doing it in color, because I just, but it's still a beautiful, beautiful song and a beautiful scene.
So he's singing that song, right? Lahiri, lahiri, lahiri lo. Woho jagame ugenuga sagenuga. Come on, sing with me. Lahiri lo. Woho jagame ugenuga.
See, this shows you this is a movie from 1957 and you know all the lyrics for all the songs.
Lahiri, lahiri, lahiri lo.
Lahiri, lahiri, lahiri lo.
Woho jagame ugenuga.
I didn't know I was going to have to sing. Come on, I didn't prep for this. Which is your favorite song or song sequence from the film?
Ahana pelli anta. Ohana pelli anta. Ahana pellanta, ohana pellanta, niku naku tellanta, lokamanta, tam tam. You're not singing but dancing like Sesreka, means Savitri.
It's iconic. And
And at the same time, we need to appreciate Marcus Bartley and K.V. Reddy. Do you know Marcus Bartley? He's Anglo-Indian.
I know just his name because of reading up about this film. And it seems him being the cinematographer, it seemed like a lot of these special effects were things that he created, that he innovated to make happen, to make this film so special.
Do you observe that magical laptop scene?
Oh, that's one of my favorites. Of course I remember. I mean, how did they think up a laptop that can hold it in 1957? It's such a wonderful scene, and I love how even though the lovers are separated, that through using this device, they're able to have a love duet at that point of the movie, which is just wonderful.
A director created a magical laptop in 1957, which plays a crucial role in pre-climax scene especially. What is your favorite part in that magical box scene?
I don't know, I just heard...
I know you intentionally jumping from the song. You are intentionally jumping from the song, I know it.
Okay.
Sing it out, please.
No,
one line, sing it out, please.
Let your
Just imitate me.
Nivena.
నీవేనా నన్ను పిలిచినది, నీవేనా నన్ను తలచినది, నీవేనా.
You know what? I will leave it to them to sing the songs, and I will just enjoy them. If your viewers haven't clued in already, I don't speak Telugu, so I rely on the subtitles. And thankfully, these songs were subtitled, so I wasn't paying attention necessarily to the words they were saying, but I was reading all the wonderful lyrics. But I'm sure, I think. That's one problem. There's a lot of the comedy that I think is wordplay. So puns or riffs on the pronunciations of words. And some of that doesn't necessarily come through to me. I don't know that I appreciate all the humor, but there's so much physical humor, kind of slapstick kind of things that I'm in on the joke for a lot of the film. But from what I was reading, there's a lot of words and turns of phrase that just became part of regular Telugu language that originated from this film.
We need to talk about artwork in movie.
Yes. This evidently was 400 crew members working for a year to build the sets, to build the amazing costumes. And this reminds me of Bahubali because I did read that Rajamouli was inspired by this film. And to me, my very first Telugu film was Bahubali, which I was lucky to see in the theater 4 times in the theater alone. Oh yeah, I'm hardcore. But this is the wonderful fantasy elements, and just the magic happening on screen, but also a huge cast. Not just one hero and one heroine, but so much going on in the film. Reminds me of Mayabazar. I mean, I can see the line coming from the tradition of Mayabazar and all the wonderful storytelling in that film. And then Rajamouli being inspired by that and making a modern fantasy film with the 2 Bahubali films. And I think it's wonderful, and that's something that's really special about Telugu cinema.
Mayabazar created a huge impact in Telugu cinema. Nearly 50 years later, some people created poll about all-time favorite movie of Telugu people. Mayabazar got elected unanimously.
And I understand why. It's still so enjoyable today.
Thank you so much, Melanie, for your thoughts and analysis about Mayabazar. We will continue these sessions in upcoming days also.
And thank you, Harsha, for singing to me. That was delightful too. This was very fun. Thank you, Harsha. I hope we can do it again soon.
Thank you so much. So, ఇది మాయాబజార్ సినిమా మీద మెల్ని ఇచ్చిన రివ్యూ అండ్ ఆమెకున్న థాట్స్. మళ్ళీ ఓ మంచి క్లాసిక్ సినిమా రివ్యూతో ఏబీపీ దేశం మీ ముందుకు వస్తుంది. అంటిల్ దెన్ బాయ్.